Hey there, kiddos, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Uncle Frank. I'm going to let you are having a great day, and in today's video, I'm going to be sitting back in my squeaky chair, relaxing and working while I talk, because here in the garage, there is always more work to do, it seems. There is always quite a lot to do. In today's video, I'm going to be continuing a topic I've covered before on the channel, and that is the drive, the desire, the interest that you must kind of inherently have in the world of trading card games, hobbies, collectibles, etc. If you want to go into business for it, you have to really like it, desire it, and have an interest in the entire process from start to finish. And I do mean the entire process from start to finish. Right now, I'm working on unsleeving and organizing an entire collection's worth of Force of Will cards, just so that I can get it up to snuff with my personal organizing system. I have thousands of cards that I organize in a particular way, so when I get a new collection in, doesn't matter how it's organized, it has to be reorganized, and that's tedious and time consuming, and I like it. I also like completely unsorted collections. I like unsorted collections, sorted collections, random grab bags, and bulk, and of all shapes and sizes. It's all good to me. And I find that for me personally, this kind of work comes easy because for a very long time I am someone who's always just kind of enjoyed sifting through cards, looking at them, playing with them. Not like playing the game as intended, but like flipping through a handful of cards and just kind of, maybe not theory crafting decks, but slapping some stuff together and seeing what kind of plays together, what doesn't. Kind of learning the ins and outs of some of the mechanics, toying with certain interactions, etc. But also just reading the cards. It's fun. It's enjoyable. Especially when you're doing it at huge volumes, you're going to get dozens of copies of one card at a time, and you're going to go, I wonder what this does, kind of naturally. For me, I find that the bulk side of the TCG world is not that bad. Yeah, it's time consuming. Yeah, it is a lot of work, and trust me, it is a lot of work. But overall, for me, it's very enjoyable. It's quite relaxing, soothing, to sit down here for potentially hours at a time, just going through, lots and lots and lots of unsorted cards, or cards that aren't sorted the way I want them to be. Lots of sorted cards, unsorted cards, whatever. You guys get what I'm trying to say. And just working on it, and then slowly organizing it in such a way that I can add it to my inventory, and then the continuing process of going through the boxes, pulling out the cards I need for a sale, and getting them where they need to go. I like that process a lot too. It's all, the entire thing from start to finish is all very enjoyable for me. And I'm someone who's been doing this for a long time, since I was a teenager, basically. And it has been said before that if you do something almost religiously as a teenager, it's something that you'll be good at later in life. But I tend to find, in my opinion, I always have to say that in these videos because there's going to be one guy who jumps down my throat for saying an opinion. I find, in my opinion, that just because you can be good at something doesn't mean you'll necessarily enjoy doing it. You can be, you might not enjoy the entire process of it. Like, there are people out there who are genuinely really good at, I don't know, Super Smash Brothers Brawl. They've been playing it ever since it released on the Wii. Brawl was for the Wii, right? They've been playing it ever since it released, and they're really good at it. Like, they know the ins and outs. They can cancel the Marth grab. They can beat up anyone. They can defeat Fox. I think Fox was the overpowered. No, Fox was melee. Meta Knight was the overpowered one in Brawl. You guys can tell that I play a lot of video games, right? But the point is, they're really good at that video game, but that doesn't necessarily mean they want to be a pro at it. That doesn't mean that they want to grind the circuit and try to get, where am I at? Oh, that is not alphabetical. Just because they're good at the game doesn't necessarily mean they want to go into it as a, well, potential financial vehicle. Not just because, you know, professional Smash Brothers tournaments don't pay amazing, because some do, some don't. You know what it is. You know how it is with video game tournaments and all that jazz. But maybe they don't enjoy the entire process from start to finish of booking hotels and traveling and all this jazz of these big tournaments just to grind out with some sweaty nerds for a few hours a day. Because, yeah, you can enjoy playing the game. You can be really good at the game. But that doesn't necessarily mean you enjoy every aspect of the game. Me, personally, I enjoy almost every aspect of the bulk TCG process. I like organizing cards. I like sorting cards, listing them, everything. I like just cards. It's good stuff. The bulk process appeals to me in a way that few other aspects of the collectibles hobby do. And that's not going to be for everyone, but if it's not for you, I have to say with all sincerity, if you don't enjoy every part of the process, I'm talking getting new inventory from sellers, you know, buying bulk, buying collections, whatever. If you don't like talking to people, you might not like being a TCG player seller. If you don't like cracking boxes for whatever reason, I understand that there are people out there who don't like ripping open boxes, whatever, not judging you. But if you don't like either talking to people to buy their stuff or ripping open boxes, hundreds of boxes potentially at a time to get a full inventory, hundreds of packs to get some substantial inventory. Because, yeah, that is time consuming and very tedious. And if you don't like the cleanup process for that, it's going to be, because it is a cleanup process. If you don't like sorting and organizing, and you don't, at least on some level, enjoy adding your physical inventory to a digital platform, and if you don't at least on some level enjoy going through boxes, potentially dozens of boxes a day, just to get a handful of cards for a handful of orders, and then later on upgrading it to dozens upon dozens of boxes a day to get dozens upon dozens of cards for dozens of orders. Again, if you don't enjoy the entire process from start to finish, you know, you might not find yourself having a good time. And if you don't find yourself having a good time, you're going to second guess yourself. You're going to go, you could have a very successful start, especially if you're a flipper. You know, you go to Walmart, you buy an ETB for what, $40, $60, whatever they're selling at Walmart right now. I don't know. You buy an ETB and it like quadruples in price. So you take it online and you sell it for the new quadrupled price. Boom, you've made a profit, and you like that money in the moment. But if you do that hundreds of times, you're going to find yourself not enjoying the entire process, especially the aspects of the process that involve getting into fist fights in the parking lot with everyone else who's trying to do the exact same thing you're doing. Fun stuff. What I'm trying to say is, you know, there's a lot of people out there who want to get into like a hobby store, whether it's video games, card games, comic books, whatever, you know. There definitely is a charm. There definitely is like a romance around the idea of making a hobby store. But you have to really, and I really mean this from the bottom of my heart, you have to really want that. And I don't just mean, I don't want you to just want to be a store. You have to want to, at least on some level, engage with every up and down, good and bad aspect of the entire industry. And I'm not just talking about sorting cards. I'm not just talking about long unpaid days fulfilling orders. I'm talking about dealing with frustrating situations when it comes to distribution. Because like them or if you're, it does not matter if your distribution rep likes you or not. There are going to be frustrating days with distribution. Okay, just from me to you, it's going to happen. You're going to have a bad day that spirals into a bad week with distribution, all because something got messed up along the order. Maybe something was snuck into an order, or maybe something you thought you were going to get doesn't actually arrive. There's all kinds of crazy situations that happen there just because there's a lot of wires that get crossed when it comes to where product is supposed to go. You know, you're going to have to deal with rowdy customers if you have a brick and mortar store. Sure, you're going to get a lot of nerds who like to do nerd things, and that's all well and good, but you're also going to get rowdy kids who come in and touch the displays and move things around and make a mess, and their parents aren't around because why would they be? You know, you're going to get people who are coming to you looking for a deal. You've seen this guy maybe once or twice. He stops in your store, he buys a pack or two, and then he approaches you one day and he's like, "Hey, buddy, how much for a perfect order ETB for me? You know, how much can I get off of that?" He'll approach you and he'll want the best possible deal. And if you don't give it to him, I'm never going to stop here. I'm never going to shop here again. All right, buddy. Ciao. You bought like $10 in product from me. Have a good day. You know, dealing with rude customers is something you're going to have to put up with. And if you don't have the patience, the energy to put up with that, then you're probably not going to like being a brick and mortar store. When it comes to the full digital side of things, yeah, you don't have to deal with rowdy customers, but you have to deal with, well, it's not easier problems so much as it is like parallel problems. There's going to be customers who claim that the product you sent out, even if you have tracking on it, oh, it never arrived, or the box was empty, or it was damaged, and I can't show you pictures of it, but it was definitely damaged. And I'm not going to send it back. I just want a refund. You're going to deal with those people from time to time. You're going to deal with people who have unreasonable demands right out the gate. They barely click the purchase button, and they're sending you a message on TCG Player or eBay demanding that you send them their package in a very specific way with like a little ribbon on top and all that jazz. Where the hell did I... Oh, there it is. I'm talking and organizing. You guys can see that I'm very clearly good at it. I'm misplacing everything. You know, you're going to get unreasonable demands. You're going to get unruly customers who, for whatever reason, just exist to raise your blood pressure. And throughout it all, if you're not the kind of person who can deal with that, who can calmly respond to customer complaints or demands with some level of professionalism, if you're the kind of guy who gets angry at people and starts shouting when they are being dicks to you, or if you're the kind of person who escalates something the moment it's even slightly inconvenient, such as a customer being unruly or whatever, if your blood pressure goes high because of that, you're not going to have a great time buying, selling, or having a brick and mortar or being online. Like, that's not going to be something that's going to work for you. And sure, it can be a fine side gig. You know, all of this is stipulating that you're doing it full time. Anything can be a profitable side gig as long as you, have the profit motive to do it, right? Spend an hour or two a day just going to Walmart and getting in fist fights and acquiring those wonderful ETBs. It's all well and good as long as you're not spending your full time on it, right? Because once you get to spending your full time on it, and once it does become more of a job and less of a side hustle, you have to want to do it. You have to enjoy the entire process from start to finish. Not love it. You don't have to love every aspect of it. I don't like, well, there's a few things here that I don't perfectly like, but I do enjoy, like I said, the process. The process itself is quite fun. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with giving it a try. There's nothing wrong with sitting down and telling yourself, okay, this year or this month or this week, I'm going to open a TCG Player seller account, or open an eBay seller account, or go to one of these, open a whatnot account. You know, there's nothing wrong with opening it up and giving it a try, and giving it an earnest try. An earnest try, not just doing the 10 quick money-making tips that Pokebro YouTuber number 75 said. Give it an earnest try, see how you like the process, and if you like it, awesome. I encourage you to keep going, to grow your business, to grow your inventory, to grow your reach, and to become bigger and better than ever before. But if it's not for you, that's also all right. You gave it a try, you gave it an earnest attempt, you didn't like where it was going, and you wanted to move on with your life and do something else. Whatever that something else ends up being. It could be go-karting for all I care. But you have to like it. You have to like go-karting too. Like the repairs, the dirt. Because whatever you end up doing is full-time for your job. On some level, if you're miserable while you're doing it, I earnestly believe, from me to you, if you don't earnestly enjoy what you're doing in life, you could be making the best money ever, but you will be living a miserable life. All right, and I genuinely believe that life is best lived. Life itself is best lived with some level of enjoyment. It does not matter, honestly, how much money you're making or how famous you are. If you're miserable, you know, if you're miserable, then what's the point? You know, there's a lot of people out there who just seem to think that money and fame and bitches is all life needs to be. But the small things matter too. You know, taking 20 minutes at the end of your day, you get home and you sit on your porch and you look at your yard and you just enjoy the breeze. You look at the rabbit in your yard and you tell him, "Hey, what's up, fucker? You still aren't paying rent?" You know, there's value to that too. To just slow down and relax and enjoy life. And if you're always, you know, if you're going to be running yourself ragged and doing something full force and spending hours and hours and hours every day doing it to make money, I genuinely believe it's that you should be doing something that you, at least on some level, enjoy. Something that you're proud of, something that makes you happy at the end of the day. Something that when you sit down and you look at it and you look at how much you've done and how much time you spent on it, you're satisfied with how much you've dedicated to it. Because again, if you're not satisfied, if you don't feel 100% or 99, 95, whatever, if you don't feel some level of satisfaction with what you've done and how you spent your time, you know, 60 years from now, you're going to look back on a very miserable life and you're going to think, damn, I have wasted a lot of time. And there are a lot of people, okay? There's a lot of people out there who feel like they've had wasted lives when they're older. They're wiser. They've certainly lived full experiences, but they ain't happy. They ain't happy with how it turned out. It's just a fact of life. And I don't want you guys to hit 85 and go, fuck, should have tried something else. You know, that's just not what I want for you guys. I want everyone really to have a good life and be happy with how they spend their time on this world. Because believe it or not, whether you believe it or not, there's a lot of cool stuff out there. Sure, I talk about video games and card games and all kinds of stuff here, but this is just cardboard. You know, this is just pictures on a piece of paper, basically. And if I wasn't happy doing this, there's loads of other stuff out there. There's loads of other activities, bird watching. Oh, is it the right set? Yes, it is. There's loads of other things out there that I could be doing that I could just as equally enjoy. I'm going to take a little side tangent to show off how really nice some of these Force of Will full arts. Yeah, that looks really nice. There's a lot of really cool stuff out there. Okay, and the world is, I think, more beautiful if you give it the chance. And so being miserable is a choice. Being sad or feeling like you're wasting your time is a choice. And I want you to choose to spend your time on something that you enjoy. Hopefully, at least. Sure, you know, it could be a skill that you've garnered over a decade and maybe you don't necessarily enjoy it, but you're very proud of the work you do at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, that's all I ask, is that you're proud of the work you do, that you feel like your time is well spent, that you feel like you've accomplished something that's worth being proud over. Because you got to be proud of what you work on. You got to be proud of what you do, or else you could regret it. That's all. I feel like this one definitely went on for too long. I'll probably still upload it though. I just really wanted to hammer home that, yeah, you know, there's a lot of cool stuff out there. Choose the cool stuff. Don't choose to be upset. Anyway, that's all I got. Like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. You guys know what to do at this point. Ciao.